Good afternoon, friends. It gives me great pleasure to see all of you all coming on a Sunday afternoon. Sincere appreciation to make this program a success. I'll take a few minutes. All right, we started a bit late, but I'll take a few minutes. I should give the floor to the Nigulchi Nayagan, the hero of the show. I shouldn't take much. My name is Abdul Rauf. I am the GM of Lisha. And something about Lisha, just two lines. Lisha was established more than 20 years ago. We are a business association. We are overseeing the welfare of 1,000 businesses in the precinct. But we are also a cultural and heritage custodian. Our role is to uphold the culture and the tradition in this precinct. So we organize shows like Deepavali, Pongal, Chithrai Putthandu, Indian New Year. Actually, there's no Indian New Year actually, but there's so many Indian communities, so we hold one day as the Indian New Year. All right, and that's what we do. And Lisha is very happy to hold this hallmark event. Hallmark because for the last 2 years we couldn't hold any events, and having our Isaikkavi in Singapore and holding it in English is a hallmark. Isaikkavi Ramanan sir doesn't need any introduction. A renowned bilingual, correct me if I'm wrong, sir. Okay, a renowned bilingual poet, musician, singer, narrator. I just learned last night that he can compose poems instantly. All right, so you can test it later on. Okay, give him a word, he will compose a poem. But then the repercussion is he will ask you the same thing back. So be prepared. So come. And he's going to help us understand Thirukural better in English. So feel free to ask him a lot of questions. Okay, we have young students. Have you learned Thirukural in school? No. You know what Thirukural? Oh, okay, you will learn today after this. But you must ask him some questions, okay? All right, okay. So he's going to help us understand Thirukural better. So ask him questions. We originally planned this program for non-Tamil speaking friends, but unfortunately, our friends are here. Okay, so you know what Thirukural is? 1,330 couplets, which is called Kurals, penned by Thiruvalluvar more than 2,000 years ago. So, which is still surprisingly applicable today to all mankind, immaterial who you are. So it is a timeless composition by our ancestor. So I had an interesting issue I'm going to share with. So can I take 2 minutes? I don't get staged that often, you see. So when I had the opportunity, I hold it as much as possible. I was kidding. I'm a lecturer actually, and a motivational speaker in English. But I would like to speak in the presence of Thiru. So organizing this show, as you all might know, that in Singapore we have a lot of issues in terms of getting permits. Not like unlike India that we can speak freely, we got to get police permits to run a show. So to run this show, I was applying for the police permit, and I indicated a non-religious talk in English, which is true, isn't it? The police did their due diligence, came back to me as rejected. So I went and did my due diligence. Why they rejected? So probably they went to the first Kural, Agara Mudal Eduthallam, then the Adi Bhagavan was there. They must have done a Google search. So this is God involved, So it took me some time to tell them that no, it's not actually. So what I spoke to the policeman was this, a Chinese gentleman. I tell him that, Kongsi means Confucius, You know Confucius? If I show Confucius image in my classes, students will say Bodhidharma, after Yelamari. It's not actually. Confucius was a philosopher. I said, Confucius? He said, yes. I asked him, has Confucius' ethics or teachings ever been on religion specifically? They said, no. This is our version of Confucius. He was 550 BC, Thiruvalluvar was about 30 BC. Am I right? 30, 31 BC? We don't know exactly, but approximately. So, that's how we got it done. Anyway, so, likewise, Thirukural was not meant to be for any specific religion. It is meant for all mankind and is applicable today. So, what's going to happen is, Isaikkavi sir is going to explain a few kurals or couplets. He's going to transform its complexity into simplicity, right? So, even the young ones would understand. So, across all ages, okay. How old are you? 9. You? You all older than me. No, okay. So, 9 and 10, okay. So, it's going to reach all ages. And after which, I urge you all to ask him questions. Try to translate that Kural in your life, in your aspect, and let this be not a talk, but rather a sharing session with Isaikkavi. It's a rare opportunity. You're going to share, and Isaikkavi is going to, from his perspective, is going to make you things. Maybe we'll have a even more better understanding of Thirukural. I learned Thirukural in school, under the cane, forced to learn for exam purposes. But the true meaning only came to me after much older when I am in life. So likewise, maybe we all know Thirukural, but Isaikkavi will make us understand Thirukural even better, in a different perspective. All right. So with all that, please put your hands together, Sir Thirukural.
My vanakkams and pranams to everyone. One of the important things that Thiruvalluvar says is that you must you must choose the right time and the right place for conducting any event, for proposing any program. Sunday afternoon, is it good enough for a serious talk on Thirukural? is a matter to be debated upon. And I'm happy to be here. And this is totally new experience for everyone. A talk in Thirukural organized by renowned Lisha in Singapore. For the benefit of everyone, we'll brush up your memory. That's all I can do now. Well, all of us are aware that Thirukural is one of the oldest classical works in Tamil, comprising 1330 couplets divided into 3 broad segments and 133 chapters. These are statistics. Like Abdul Rauf was mentioning, you cannot exactly pinpoint the time it was born. The period of Thiruvalluvar, it still continues to be a mystery. You can say, even on a very strict estimate, you can say that it is 1,500 years old. On a modest estimate, it is 2,000 years old. Anywhere between 2nd century BCE and 2nd century AD. That is what the scholars say about the period of Thiruvalluvar. Again, when you talk about Sangam age also, we have the same problem. Any old work, they say 2,000 years old. How could all the works happened 2,000 years ago? Maybe they were compiled 2,000 years ago, but born much before that. Could be. It is very possible. The more archaeological excavations happen recently, there are a lot of interesting revelations about the antiquity of Tamil literature, and Thirukural is one of the most ancient. the clarity which Thirukural gives, I mean, it is not matched by any other work. Number one, Thiruvalluvar does not leave even a clue or a hint about himself throughout this work. He has not revealed himself at all. No ID, no QR scanning, nothing is possible. We don't even know whether his name was Thiruvalluvar. We call him Thiruvalluvar. And because he gave us this work, Thirukural, we call him Thiruvalluvar. We call his work as Thirukural because we call him Thiruvalluvar. So we don't know the real name. And there are several names for Thirukural. There are several attributory names to Thiruvalluvar, like Shanna Poda, Deva Pulavar, like that. So even that we do not know. All the information we have about him is from folklore, we can say. There is no authenticity involved. We still believe that he was living in Mylapore. He belonged to the weavers community and so on. Conjectures or tales or legends, but we do not know. No authenticity. And there is not even a mention of the word Tamil in Thirukural. And it does not mention, as Abdul said, you don't find a mention about any religion or any specific god in Thirukural. We don't have that. You will not find the name of any mountain or a king or a river in Thirukural. See, even if he has mentioned the name of one king, we could somehow find out, we could research and find the time, his period we could have found. That is also not there. So maybe it was a specific plan by him not to leave any, burn all the bridges, they said. He wanted to leave this work, the work should speak for itself, and it speaks. So in my little estimate, the work and the man are one and the same. Thirukural is equal to Thiruvalluvar. They are synonymous, I would say. And what does this Thirukural say? Briefly, what does it contain? Why is it considered so great? See, obviously this must have also been one of the manuscripts on palm leaf, isn't it? The average lifespan of any palm manuscripts is 75 years. From 75 to 200 they say, but average life is 75 years. We say that Thirukural is 2000 years old. So how has it survived till now? People would have taken copies, taken down. So once in 75 years or so, a group of people must have taken down, recopied the whole thing. And why do they do? Because they found the work, they found Thirukural meaningful, attractive, applicable in their lives, isn't it? See, this is one important feature. Why? How has it survived? I want to tell you, even before Kamban, there were several Ramayanas written in English, but none of them has survived. Because they were not popular. People did not take to them. Kamban came and swept over like a big wave, like a tsunami. So likewise, Thirukural has survived this long because people liked it. So in that sense, it is a work meant for people at large. Abdul, is it possible to reduce this? Because I'm directly under a blast of cold air. It's too cold. Well, I thank you for your warm reception, warm welcome. This is totally contradictory. Uh, we have mentioned in the poster that it's a work on ethics. We call it a work on dharma, you can say. There is a word called aram in Tamil, which is taken as the equivalent for dharma, though the scholars argue that they are different. Let us not get into that now, because if at all there is a difference, it could be only subtle or superfluous. We do not know. We'll take it that it is an aranur, so work on dharma. What exactly is dharma? The English translation of the word dharma does not reveal the meaning properly. Some translations call dharma as duty. Duty is also part of dharma. Some call it religion. It's not so. It's not so. Religion is a part of dharma. Dharma is not part of the religion. Even if there is no religion, dharma is relevant. Even if you don't believe in religion, dharma is necessary for you. So now you get a brief idea about what dharma is. We can explain dharma in one sentence, which I heard from my master. Dharma is appropriateness in thought, action, and attitude towards a thing or a person or a circumstance. I think this is a very satisfactory explanation. I'll repeat it. Dharma is appropriateness in thought, action, and attitude towards a thing or a person or a circumstance in life. We deal only with three things: persons or people, and circumstances. What else is there in life to deal with? So, the technique or a handbook which teaches us as to how to deal with these three things in life is Thirukural. Thirukural gives you the best technique, which is applicable to everybody. It's not related only to some specific land or specific set of people. That is what makes Thirukural unique. The Hindus can claim that it belongs to them. The Christians say so. They also say so. And the Jain said, after all, Thiruvalluvar was a Jain, they say. So, but he eludes. He continues to be elusive. There is nothing mysterious about it. He was not merely secular, he was universal. Thirukural is not a secular work, I would say. The word secular is not appropriate to describe universal. It has an universal reach. So that is why he continues definitions. We should get out of the syndrome of getting caught in definitions. That is the thing. Okay. But one beautiful statement by Mahakavi Subramanya Bharati on Thirukural explains it. What all it contains, it explains. The beauty it is explained. Mahakavi says, Thirukural urudiyum, ஆழமும் பொருளின் விரிவும் திருக்குறள் உறுதியும் தெளிவும் ஆழமும் பொருளின் விரிவும் அழகும். Bharati gives 5 attributes to Thirukural. First, urudi. Urudi here means not firmness, strength of conviction. Here urudi means strength of conviction. So when he says something, he says it with authority. Absolute. Yameya kandavatul, among all that we have seen as truth. Like that huge. Sometimes it will be a personal declaration. So strength of conviction is one. Thirukural urudiyum, telivum, clarity, crystal clear. Crystal clear. There is no ambiguity at all about any of the statements which the master has made anywhere in Thirukural. Thirukural urudiyum, telivum, ஆழமும், depth of meaning. Then பொருளின் விரிவும், the encompassing nature of its import or meaning. And lastly, last but not the least, அழகு, beauty. It is a picture of brevity. because he has taken just 7 words in every couplet to convey whatever he wants to. So, Tirukkural urudiyum telivum porulin alamum virivum alamum porulin virivum alagum. So, these 5 attributes of Bharati are excellent. So, we'll hats off to Bharati for this. If you take up a couple of couplets, anywhere you can take it, pick up something, a few couplets, every couplet will be a revelation, new vistas of for learning, vistas of wisdom, we can say. For instance, if you ask him what exactly is dharma, aram according to you, he has a definite answer. There is a difference between definitions which you come across in other works and here. Sometimes definitions could be misleading. Definitions could confuse you. Here, Kural's definitions are definite, crystal clear. Manattukkan Masilanadal Anaithu Aram. Makes a sweeping statement. All dharma is nothing but remaining blemishless in your heart. Your mind must be pure. It must be, your heart must be free from any blemish. That is dharma. Agula Neera Pira. All the rest are only making noise. Agula Neera Pira. Pira is others. Agula Neera. They are only posturing, he says. They are only blatant posturing. All the rest are only blatant posturing, he says. What a beautiful statement. Anaitharan Sarva Dharma is remaining blemishless in your heart. What is the purpose of this life for us, for a human being? See, most of us here, I presume, are householders. We are not sannyasis, we are not mendicants, I suppose. Okay, fine. And in that chapter, he keeps this couplet, Vayathul Valvangu Valbavan Vanurayum Deivathul Vaikappadam. One who leads this earthly life the way it should be lived, ought to be lived. It ought to be lived. He will be treated on par with the deity. Vanurayum Deivathul Vaikappadam. That dwells in the sky, in the heavens. So you can compare it with the Kannadasan song also, Manidanan Bhavan, Deivam Agalam. A man can evolve to the level of divinity. How? By conducting his life as it should be. How? By remaining blemishless in his heart. See how one Kural somewhere has a connectivity to another couplet somewhere else. Somewhere else we should say, because 133 chapters, that is the thing. So, Vayathul Valvangu Valda. How do I approach? What is the easiest way? You must understand, Valluvar says, that the entire creation is nothing but expression of love, he says. What a beautiful statement. The creation, he is not speaking about God here. He is speaking only about love. Anbin Valiyadu Uyirnilai. Any form of life, any activity of life, whatever you call life, idha sollirkingla? Okay. Is a brilliant expression of love. Sir. So Valluvar says what we call as creation is nothing but manifestation of love. Anbin Valiyadu Uyirnilai. Impossible to translate. We can only say the creation is nothing but an expression of love or manifestation of love. What is the import? What is the deeper meaning in this is everyone carries that love. Now, every one of us carries that love which has expressed itself as creation. How vast, how all encompassing, how different it looks, full of varieties also, full of variety also. But all of us carry in our core the same love which has expressed itself into one vast creation. Is that clear? That is what this choral says. If you do not recognize this love, that is the next part of the couplet. If you do not recognize this love, you cannot call yourself a human being. You are nothing but a skeleton cloaked in skin. Yenbu tol portha udambu. Nothing but a structure of bone, skeleton, cloaked in skin. So, real living is loving. Recognize that as your core and live in tune with that. That is Vazhvangu Vazhda. See, we are able to connect it. Honestly, I have not connected these three couplets at all. When I speak to you, when I speak with you, I am able to perceive this connection. That is the beauty of choral. One more couplet I will share with you. Say, suppose I am in a difficulty, a financial difficulty, and Kannan comes to my rescue. Kannan gives me $500. At that time, it's a great help to me. For him, it may not be big. It may not be a big thing for him, but he has given me $500, which almost saved my life or saved my name, prestige, manam. Okay, fine. The time passes. I return the money to him. Valluvar does not even take notice of my returning the money to him. He goes a couple of steps further. Kannan is in some difficulty, and this time I jump to help him. I give him $1,000. Valluvar says, this help which you have given him can never match the help which he gave you. What a beautiful statement. This is worth appreciating. What you have done to him is worth appreciating. But do not think that it can equal the $500 which he gave. Udavi varaitandru udavi. Udavi seyapattar salvin varait. One who is helped, his magnanimity should be seen. One who helps, his spontaneity should be seen. One help does not match, or rather it does not settle the account at all. Another help, one help does not settle the account of another help. That's what he says. It's a very important revelation. Okay, Kannan should be thanked there. Okay, I can be thanked there. But whatever you say, my offering him $1,000, behind that would be the thought in my mind that he offered me $500, he helped me. But Kannan did not think on those lines when he helped me. So that spontaneity can never be matched. Here I am only acknowledging his spontaneity. I am only showing my gratitude towards him. But it can never match the greatness or the magnanimity of his help. How beautiful. Udavi varaitandru udavi seyapattar salvin varaithu. Okay, all of us do charity. All of us do some charity. What is real charity? Valluvar gives a definite answer to this. What is real charity? Giving something to one who has nothing with him. That is real charity. All the rest are acts of expectation. Like, I'm not criticizing any social clubs or anything like that. All activities, charitable institutions should be there. Their activities are welcome. But there is always some expectation, a photograph, a press release, a press coverage, an appreciation, a recognition, a reward also, like that. So he says, "Kuriyadirpai neeradudaithu." This is all in expectation of something in return. It is done. But the real charity is giving something to someone who can never return it. Giving something to someone who is in dire need, who has nothing with him. If you extend this to his chapter on hospitality, there also you can see virundu, we say. Virundu, we think that virundu means feast. We also get a meaning for the word virundu as guest. Virundali. Virundu is guest. Virundu is feast. Not so with Thiruvalluvar. Virundu means new. I am inviting Kannan to my house, Abdul Rauf to my house, and offering him food. That is not the hospitality according to Thirukural's standards. Offering something to someone who is totally new to you, extending this hospitality to a stranger, that is his standard of hospitality. So charity is of giving somebody who doesn't have anything at all. Hospitality is inviting someone with love and respect and courtesy and giving him food and fulfilling his needs to the best of your abilities. That is hospitality. How beautiful it is. So then how do you protect yourself? All of us want to protect ourselves. The best security system recommended by Thiruvalluvar is this. Giving up anger is this best security system, he says. If you want to protect yourself, please show restraint in anger. Be free from anger. Why? For, he says, if you don't do so, your anger will surely destroy you. We think that our anger will threaten someone, affect someone, destroy someone. Could be, but in the process you will be destroyed certainly. Mahatma Gandhi used to keep a small saying on his desktop, real desktop. It was written by someone called L.C. Parimer. I don't know much about him, but I suddenly remember this statement. The statement is very good. It is related to Thirukural. He says, if you are right, you need not lose your temper. If you are right, you need not lose your temper. If you are wrong, you have no right to lose your temper. How beautiful. Beautiful. If you are wrong, you have no right to lose your temper. Here, very clearly he says, Valluvar says, if you want to protect yourself, safeguard yourself, save yourself from destruction, avoid anger. Be free from anger. Anger destroys, very destructive. Okay, I will put it in a scientific way. An explanation to this couplet would be, the scientists say, in a whiff of anger, lasting say about 20-30 seconds, the amount of energy which you lose, which you expend, is sufficient to keep a torchlight burning for 3 months, they say. 20-30 seconds of anger, the energy which you lose in the process is enough to keep a torchlight burning for 3 months. How much energy we lose, my goodness. How much energy? Kovattal nadiyile adirchi undam. Your entire nervous system suffers from shocks. Bharati says, Subramanya Bharati says, suffers from shock waves. So let's avoid anger. Let's protect ourselves. Let's safeguard ourselves. That is the thing. So Aratuppal, Purutpal, Kamatuppal or Inbatuppal. These are the three broad segments. And there are several chapters in everything. One more before I throw the floor open. Valluvar has not sung or said anything about the sun, but he has devoted one chapter to rain. Brilliant. He gives different names, sweet names to rain. But he has not spoken about the sun. If there is, I was wondering, if there is no sun, there is no life on earth, isn't it? And no consciousness either. But suppose there is sun, but there is no rain, there is no living on earth, isn't it? Sun, the rays of the sun happen to fall on the moon also. That is how it gets its light. But it's not a lively planet. It is not containing life. The rays of the sun could fall on many other planes or planets. But is there a human life on another planet? Till I am proved wrong. Till we are, all of us are proved wrong. Not so. So if there is sun alone, if the sun is the reason for rain, that is fine. But the presence of the sun does not guarantee rain. Even on earth we see this, we experience this. The presence of sun does not guarantee rain. So that is why he has chosen to speak about the glory of rain instead of the sun, I would say. Life and living is possible only when there is rain. Kanchi Mahaswami used to mention it beautifully. We appeal to the forces of nature, the devas, for rain. Without rain, there is no food here, there is no agriculture here. But funnily, there is no agriculture in heavens, he would say. They are not in need of rain, but they give us rain. That's between the earthly plane and the forces of nature that govern this earth, there is a beautiful connection. The harmony is disturbed now. Like Kannan's poem this morning was talking about, he was lamenting about the harmony being ruptured. It is not the ozone layer which is ruptured, it is the harmony which was existing on the plant, the mineral kingdom, the plant kingdom, the human kingdom, and then the divine kingdom called the forces of nature. So that is disturbed. For us, he says, the continuance of rain in the world is preserved in existence. It is therefore worthy to be called ambrosia. To the human beings, to the living beings on earth, rain is the amrutam. Rain is the ambrosia. Vaninru ulagam varangi varudalal taan amurdam endru unarar patru, he says. The first couplet in that chapter describes the glory of the rain completely, I would say. Van means not the sky here. Van means the rain. That is the name given by Thiruvalluvar for rain. Normally when we say Van, we call it sky. He says it is rain. So like that we can just open Thirukural. Anywhere you can pick up one couplet and you can embellish an aspect of life to which you are connected easily with that. That is the greatness of Thirukural. I would call it a handbook on life, rather a handbook on living. Life is different from living. Life is mere existence. Living is lively existence. So, that is what is called Valvang Valdal, according to Thirukural. Lively existence. Thirukural teaches you, helps you, guides you to achieve this lively existence and be regarded as one among the gods when you ultimately leave. This in brief is the greatness of Thirukural. I have taken 30 minutes given by Abdul Rauf and I leave the floor open for any questions.
First, some comments. I came here precisely to hear you speak in English. I've heard you in Tamil and so on, but I wanted to hear you speak in English about Thirukural.
Okay.
Because it's very easy to get people to speak in Tamil about Tirukkural. After a while, you get tired of it. It seems to take a certain tone that makes it seem as though it belongs to the old people and you know the kind of language that is used and so on.
Wow.
So I wanted to see how it sounds like
In
when
English.
it is
yeah.
explained
Yeah.
in English, and it came across beautifully.
Thank you, sir.
You know,
Thank
it's
you. Thank you.
you didn't use any words that were complex
Yes.
or anything of that sort. Now, my question will be, concern is how we can make Tirukkural relevant to others. Leave alone the Indians. I'm sure like the Chinese and so on can benefit, or the Westerners. The way the Westerners do it is perhaps by making it or linking it to the business world. Like for example, Sun Tzu's Art of War, and then they link it to business strategy. Is there any way to translate it that way?
Okay.
That's one. Secondly, I was wondering how it would be like if Tirukkural was explained by using your life or your biography to explain certain things. You see, whatever you have explained is in general, but sometimes the message gets across clearer when it's linked to someone's life.
Okay.
Then you see, oh, okay, this has happened to me. Oh, this has happened to him. And this is how Tirukkural affected him, influenced him, and so on.
Yes, yes.
So, because I understand you have already written a biography, so am I right?
Yes.
So maybe this is another chance to rewrite, is it?
Yes, I will answer you, sir. First of all, my thanks to you for your patience. When I was alone, you kept me company when I came here, and your questions are very appropriate, and I have quite a few thoughts on them. The thing is, the values are old, the needs are modern, isn't it? The life, only the circumstances have changed. The compendium of emotions have not changed. We enjoy the same emotions, we suffer from the same emotions, whether it is 2000 years ago. That is one reason why Kural is relevant today. You have given me an explanation now. Why Tirukkural is relevant? Because mankind has not changed in its basics. Okay, fine. So in one sense, it is the past which becomes the future, isn't it? When you extend this logic, the solutions for future lie in the past. So the solutions to the problems that conflict our society or the individual today can be found in Tirukkural. But the presentation should be different. You cannot speak Tirukkural in that language to the modern generation. First, the scholars should understand this. They are very uncompromising in expressing it in a scholarly way. That will not work. But there is a change now. There are people who belonging to my generation. They cannot be called as scholars in Tirukkural, but their presentation on Tirukkural are very, very noteworthy. But for instance, leadership skills and Tirukkural, as mentioned in Tirukkural. Public speaking, as mentioned in Tirukkural. Positive attitude, these are the things which are commonly talked about. Leadership skills, public speaking, positive attitude, motivation. Because there is a huge difference between enthusiasm and inspiration. I understood it only through studying Tirukkural. I understood now that enthusiasm is something which is subjected to waning and waxing. Inspiration cannot be like that. It's a perennial fount. It's a fount which keeps coming up like that. That is, he has devoted one entire chapter on inspiration. He is not speaking about enthusiasm at all. He is a little critical about enthusiasm. My father would put it this way, when he applies Thirukural to our level, to modern level, he says enthusiasm is like keeping your, those days bicycle was the biggest thing for us, wiping it off, wiping it clean. You will do it for 2 days, 3 days. From the 4th day, you will allow it to gather dust. Inspiration is nothing but sustained enthusiasm. That's what he says. But Valluvar says, when it comes to inspiration, whether whether you are wealthy or not, is measured not in terms of the millions which you have, but it is measured only by the inspiration which you have. If you are inspired, you are wealthy. If you are not inspired, you are not. These things should be conveyed. We should speak the values of Thirukural in the language of the present generation, which is a must. You cannot expect them to come and appreciate these values if it is not given to them in their language. That is how it should be done, sir. What is their requirement now? To lead a life free from stress and tension. You can find several stress busters in Thirukural. We can cull out stress busters from Thirukural, principles of management, administration from Thirukural, time management is there, beautiful, how to strike, how not to strike, all these things are mentioned clearly. So, Sri Tyagarajan's question gives us a beautiful possibility of converting, of culling out appropriate couplets from Thirukural and conveying them through different avenues like public speaking, motivation, like life skills, briefly speaking, life skills and psychology. Today the biggest challenge is emotional management, right or wrong. They may be well educated, but they don't seem to be balanced at all. People who hardly went to school were a picture of poise and balance in our generation or 2 generations before. I have seen people like that. But people who seem to be, who are called very well educated, they don't have that poise. We should help our generation. This is the biggest problem. Emotional management is the biggest problem. We can solve it through Thirukural by addressing that specific problem through this. It is I would dare say that it is a practical workbook, not simply some theory. It is not some preacher speaking from a pulpit. It's not at all so. So it's practical. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the great opportunity.
You're welcome.
I like the way when you say that it's a live workbook.
Live
Workbook. Thirukural.
okay.
I was organizing some events last month. Tamil is Singapore's official language, but there are a lot of Indian communities in Singapore. Maharashtra, Assam, you know.
1 minute.
Okay, there are a lot of. So we were trying to gather all of them together
Okay.
to celebrate Indian New Year. So this is how the whole thing came
Okay.
about. So I was looking for a specific Kural that talks about community harmony, but I couldn't find. Maybe I couldn't find.
No, I will give you.
There exists. So number one, I would like to know what.
But not immediately, but I will give you.
Yes. So because not only me, a few scholars were searching. All I could find is something to do with culture, but community-wise. You see, so I was what to work on that.
See, for instance, there is a couplet which says, "Ulagatthodu otta olugal palakattrum kalladar arivilladar." You might have read many scripture. You might be well read, but you cannot be called educated unless you learn to follow the footsteps of those who lead by example. Ulagam in Thirukural, Ulagu when he says, in some places it refers to the world. In some places it refers to the place, but in some places, importantly, it refers to the wise men. Those who are ulagu means wise men. So there are different meanings in different couplets for the same word. Like that, I will give you on the harmony in community or community living. I will give you.
Thank you, sir. One more thing. I'm a motivational speaker in English. Not in Tamil, but in English. So one of the elements that I touch on is emotional intelligence. And you were saying something about that.
Yes.
So also, what Kural can I apply on emotional well-being and intelligence? Not well-being, but emotional intelligence.
Yes.
It means knowing the other party. Because today a lot of disharmony happens because they are speaking in their own frequency.
Yes.
It doesn't match.
Yes.
So EQ is basically adjusting your frequency to the other party's frequency, whereby there will be harmony. So
there are several chapters on that. One is Kelvi, listening. Another is Sol Vanmai, how to speak. He has mentioned clearly. Keep them aside, keep them on one side, and go to his chapters on friendship. There are at least between 4 and 6 chapters. Natpu, Natparaidal, Kuda Natpu, Palaimai, like that. There are several grades of friendship, several aspects of friendship. Beautiful emotional, for instance, he says, nothing is more dangerous than getting into a friendship without proper research. For once you become friends with someone, there is no vimochanam from that. You cannot come out of it, he says. Then here again, நிலத்தியல்பால் நீர் திரிந்தற்றாகும் மாந்தர்க்கு இனத்தியல்பதாகும் அறிவு. Like the quality of the soil determines the quality of water. The quality of company which you keep determines the quality of your knowledge, he says. So I asked my teacher, see, when I am in a wrong company, my character will be affected. But how come Valluvar says my knowledge itself will be affected? Smilingly, my teacher said, see, he doesn't speak about the obvious thing. When you are in bad company, your character will be affected. Everyone knows it. Why talk about it? But the real loss is you lose your knowledge. Here, arivu means not the accumulated knowledge, but your core personality you lose. Like when you pick up a bad habit, how do you pick up a bad habit? Out of curiosity. Then it becomes necessity. Then it becomes a chemical reaction. No de-addiction can help you. To that state, a bad company can take you. That is why he is addressing that instead of the so-called character. Like there are several things. You have to put them all together. Now it's a beautiful question raised by Mr. Tyagarajan, and you have added a new dimension to that, Abdul Rauf. So putting them together, we can stitch not from one chapter, from several chapters. We should create a medley of couplets. Only for our reference, we can mention within brackets the name of the chapter and the number of the Kural. But for us, it will be altogether new chapter. It's a new chapter conceived from Thirukural. It will be like that, based on our needs, modern needs. Emotional management is very much present. Community living is very much present. We can take it.
Because I felt it is important for today's youngsters.
Yes, it is.
They are very high in IQ, but very low in EQ.
Very low in EQ. Yes.
And I would like to
very brittle, very fragile.
I would like to use Thirukural as much as possible in my talks in future. So I was just trying to do some new angle of research.
Yes, we can.
Thank you, sir.
We can bring. Thank you. He speaks about delegation. In the modern management parlance, they say delegate or perish. They say, இதனால் இவன் முடிக்கும் என்று ஆய்ந்து அதனை அவன் கண் விடல். You must learn to leave it. You should not be breathing down his shoulder after handing over a responsibility. Trust and supervise. Not supervising without trust. That's not a good management. Isn't it? As a senior man, you would agree. So, இதனால் இவன் முடிக்கும் என்று ஆய்ந்து You must do your research properly, whether he is capable of doing this task. Then after finally arriving at the decision and handing over the responsibility, stop breathing down his shoulder and allow him to work. This is Therindu Vinayadal Adhikaram. It's beautiful. There are several things like how a country should be, and somehow listen to the good things he says. Enaithanum nallavai ketka. So many are there. Anyway, since there are no further questions, Abdul, so we can conclude this session because there are no further questions. Yeah. Thanks for this good opportunity. Lisha Ilakkiya Mandram, literary. This is by Lisha. Thank you. Thanks for this opportunity. And my sincere thanks to every one of you who have remained patient through this session. We started it after a delay, but you stayed put and stayed with me. Thank you.